All right, we should be live now. What's up, ladies and gents? Ryan here, DFS 5-pack. Time to talk a little NBA for Tuesday night. Hopefully tonight's games are a little bit more entertaining. As a Bucks fan, was that tough to watch last night. I am one of the more positive and optimistic people that you probably know. I can't pull one positive thing out of there. You can only play better. That was a butt whooping. Kudos to everybody on the Nets. KD, Kyrie, Joe Harris, Blake, who obviously was slow rolling how old he was. Mike James, Shamit, everybody. That was just a butt whooping. What a butt whooping. That was tough to watch, man. That was tough to watch. So hopefully tonight's games are a little bit more exciting. The Nuggets and Suns was close for a good portion of the game, but not down the stretch run. So hopefully we get something good to watch tonight. And it's a little bit more entertaining for all of us. You guys know how much I love the NBA playoffs, but last night's games, especially the first one, weren't the greatest things I've ever seen. So let's talk about today's games, though, as we move on to a brand new day, which is the beauty of sports, DFS in general. Once again today, we want to feature some new friends of ours over at a new company called Sports Battle. The app is available for both iPhones and Android. Give it a little look. We broke it down yesterday with the video of who we liked in the early game. Pretty sure everybody hit under, mostly because of blowouts throughout the entire day. So we will talk about today's as well, and we should get to it just a little bit later. So check out the new people over at Sports Battle, and monthly and weekly memberships are available at the website. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. So let's talk cash lock. So let's talk about Nick Batum, who, again, this isn't anywhere close to my favorite play on the slate, but I want to talk about some of the cheaper guys out there that you can use to help you actually build your lineup. So with game one of the Jazz Clippers, I think we know that it's possible there's going to be some, changes to the lineup, changes in how they want to play out this matchup is, the Jazz and the Mavericks aren't the same team. Batum, however, played more and more minutes as the series progressed. The Clippers also won more and more as the series progressed. So I expect him to stay as a heavy, heavy part of the rotation. I feel comfortable with him. At 4,600, I think he is fairly priced. He is not a big ceiling guy. I think we pretty much saw his ceiling last game out. So I don't think you lose your contest if you choose not to go with him or anything like that. However, I was very much impressed by the well-rounded stat lines that he put up throughout the series. 17 plus DK points in all 7 games. It's comfortable. 17 is not a good score on 4,600, but that ain't a terrible score come playoff time, right? Like a lot of guys below 5K are significantly more risky. So Batum offers them another longer wing player. He can do a little distributing, a little bit of shooting, play a little defense. He does a little bit of everything. He appears to have growing trust with Lou. They won 3 or 4 of the games, with him playing more and more minutes. I expect him to stay as a heavy part of the rotation moving forward. So as far as the guys below 5K on the slate, I feel about as comfortable with him not ruining my lineup, which in the playoffs is a lot of time all you're looking for is the stars are the guys sometimes who have the bigger nights. But I feel pretty comfortable with him not ruining the lineup tonight. He's not a big ceiling play, though. I think we definitely saw it close to his ceiling last time out, but I feel pretty good. We can get 20, 25 DK points out of Batum, and as far as the guys below 5K on the slate go, there aren't a lot of them that you're going to feel comfortable getting that type of exposure from. All right, next up, I'm going to stick with the Clippers. We're actually a little Clipper heavy on the show today. I got Kawhi Leonard is a guy that I have very much shortlisted on my list today. So I do think today's studs are a close call. Whether you're right or wrong, there are days where you have studs that you really, really, really like, and other days where it's going to be a close call. I find today to be a close call. So if you like the other studs better, I don't think your points are wrong. I think it is a close one. But one, gun to head, I trust game 2 a little bit more to be competitive. I think this is going to be a good game. I think it has all the makings of a good game. I think these two teams are pretty darn even. Game in Utah is good for the Jazz. Having played recently, good for the Clippers. I think we're going to get a good ball game here. Maybe that's just me being optimistic because I want a good game, but I expect a good game right here. The Claw has been sensational all throughout the playoffs. He had one rough game. I think it was game 5 against the Mavs. I think he only dropped 37.5 DK points, if I remember. It was the one game where his mid-range and his shots just weren't going in. It happens. He's not perfect. The 9,900 price tag probably looks a little bit high, but quite frankly, I mean, he's earned it. He was massively underpriced to start the series, and the big difference between playoff basketball and regular season basketball for the Clippers is Kawhi Leonard plays big minutes in the postseason. There is no back-to-backs. You have to be leery and weary of him in the regular season, but in the postseason, he's the man. He seems expensive, but I mean, quite frankly, he's earned every bit of this salary. If Kawhi Leonard was 10.5 or almost 11K, it would be hard to say that wasn't a fair price tag for him based on his playoff performances. So I expect this to be a game. I expect Kawhi to be Kawhi. I feel pretty darn comfortable with him that we're going to get another solid performance out of the claw right here. All right, next up, Donovan Mitchell. So he made the cover today. Big fan of this one. Again, I like game 2 tonight to be more competitive. Not that I don't think the first game will be competitive. I just trust this game more to be competitive. And coming off a night with, a huge blowout in a game that got lopsided down the stretch, I want a game that's competitive. And I love Mitchell in any version of a competitive game because he's a closer. He's really turned into, in my opinion, to one of the better closers in the NBA. Conley or no Conley, I like Donovan Mitchell. Because I think there's arguments that without Mike Conley, I don't know, they've had a bunch of days off. Could maybe the Jazz not play well tonight? It's possible. I mean, it's definitely possible. Without Conley, I mean, the guy has high usage to begin with, but he's going to have even higher usage without Mike Conley around. So I like everything about Donovan Mitchell tonight. I think I didn't like this kid as much when he first started playing in the NBA. He's really, really grown on me as a guy he gets up for the biggest moments. Some guys wilter. Man, if you watched my Bucks play last night, woo, Middleton and Giannis came up softer than cottonelle tissue. They were awful. I just never expect that from Donovan Mitchell. He rises to the moment. Game 1 in a big series, I expect the best of Donovan Mitchell tonight. And this goes back to last year when we saw this guy as a bubble stud. So I like Mitchell in any format you play this evening. All right, next up, let's talk about long shots. I'm going to hit up the Clippers one more time. And this guy is the definition of a true long shot. And that's Zubac. So he basically fell out of the rotation, more or less, throughout the progress of that Mavs series. However, the Mavs, I know they threw Boban in there, but Kristaps Porzingis is 7'3" and plays like he's 6'3". So you didn't need a big man. Against the Utah Jazz are a tiger that won't change their stripes. And what I mean by that is Gobert's playing. Unless he's in foul trouble or gets hurt, he's playing his 30 to 40 minutes a game, and you're going to need somebody with some size to counteract him. Even if Ibaka plays tonight, you have to assume he won't be long for the game. Cousins didn't get off the bench once last series, if my memory serves me correctly. So this is a true long shot, and if he's not in the starting lineup, then it's even too bold for me to go there. So I think in the last half, though, we don't have a lot of guys at 3,500 or less. It is definitely plausible that Zubac plays more minutes tonight because you need size against Rudy Gobert. So, again, I'm also not shocked if he plays 5 minutes tonight and gives you 2 DK points. That's why he's a long shot. I think he is the truest definition of a long shot. Last up, we got to at least talk about somebody from the first game. So let's talk about Red Velvet, Kevin Huerter. Game 1, as I evaluated this game, I told you guys that if Hunter is out, there are 2 guys I like. I like Gallo and I like Huerter. Huerter was great. Gallo was trash. I don't think this is a situation where game 2 changes that. If DeAndre Hunter is out tonight, I like Kevin Huerter. Why? They need another ball handler. If you saw how Philly played defense on Trae Young, not that Trae Young wasn't great because he was great, but they were trying to press him. They were trying to trap him. You need somebody else who can handle the ball. Kevin Huerter is not a point guard, but it's really him and Bogdanovich are the other guys who can bring the ball up the court that you trust with the ball in their hand to make good decisions. So if DeAndre Hunter is out tonight, then Huerter's a lock for me, even over Batum. If Hunter plays, I still think Huerter's a play, but I like him significantly less, and he definitely moves more into the long shot category. Doesn't hurt for him, though, that shooting guard is not specifically strong today. Today is one of those days because of the games that we have. I find the forward positions to be stronger than the guard positions. So the fact that you can play him at shooting guard to me would also be a big benefit, as I just don't like that position nearly as much. So it is what it is, guys. So that's what we got for today. I think that gives my opinions on the games today pretty clearly on what I'm thinking. Best of luck to everybody out there. Yeah, we will be talking baseball a little bit later. And go win yourself some money tonight, guys. And I will see you in a little bit.